Today, we want to talk about a topic that might be the main concern for many of us: our career future in the face of the limitless power of artificial intelligence. The fear we have today about artificial intelligence is not a new fear. Human history is full of moments when a new technology has turned the job market upside down, from the steam engine to computers. But is it different this time? Is artificial intelligence really a tsunami that's going to completely wipe us off the stage? In this episode, we want to examine this issue in a very friendly and intimate, yet deep and well-documented way. Our journey begins in the 18th century. We arrive at this key question: how can we survive and even thrive in this technological storm?
The Industrial Revolution, the birth of technological unemployment.
Let's go back to the 18th century in England during the Industrial Revolution. The invention of the steam engine and textile machines completely transformed the traditional fabric weaving industry. Before that, workers had to weave fabric by hand, and they had a good life. But suddenly, a single machine could do the work of hundreds of workers. What was the result? The workers attacked the machines. They did this in groups called the Luddites. This name became a symbol for people who are afraid of technology and oppose it. The important point here is that the Luddites were not against technology itself, but rather against the conditions it created, where the profits only went into the pockets of a few, while the rest lost their livelihoods. Their fear was completely real and human too. But did the Luddites manage to stop technology? No, but something interesting happened. Jobs didn't disappear, they changed. Textile workers became factory workers. Mechanical engineer and machine operator became the key roles. This is where the transformation happened. At that time, the educational and social systems had to change so people could learn new skills. And this was the first time society was forced to adapt itself to the pace of technology.
But, on the other hand,
a few decades later, with the rise of computers, fear surged again. People said these electronic brains would take over the jobs of accountants, secretaries, and typists, exactly like our fear of artificial intelligence today. At that time, jobs like professional typist or operators of large calculating machines essentially became obsolete. But what happened? Instead of typists, jobs like programming, data analysis, and network management were created. Computers eliminated repetitive tasks and gave rise to creative and complex jobs. Computers, for us, they taught us that machines are better than us at repetitive tasks, calculations, and sorting data, but they fail in three areas: true creativity, empathy, and human connection, and making ethical and ambiguous decisions. But the people who succeeded were those who, instead of competing with computers, they collaborated, transforming from simple workers into system managers who use computers as tools.
artificial intelligence has reached the point of no return.
But why? Is artificial intelligence different from previous revolutions? Now we come to our current situation, AIs like ChatGPT and Midjourney. But why does it seem so scary this time? Because artificial intelligence is entering areas that were previously exclusive to humans, like creativity, analysis, and writing. In previous revolutions, machines only took over our muscles, but artificial intelligence is taking over our minds. Today, an AI can produce reliable content, write code, or even create graphic designs. These were jobs we thought were immune to automation. But we should know that our fear today is justified, because the pace of change is so fast that our education system doesn't even get a chance to update itself. If during the Industrial Revolution it took decades for people to figure out what they needed to do, now we might only have a few years. So, which jobs are most at risk? Jobs that are based on producing generic and repetitive content, like simple translation, basic customer support, or writing routine emails. These jobs are being eliminated, but what about the emerging professions? Here, the key word is collaboration with artificial intelligence. Jobs like prompt engineering, AI ethics manager, and so on. Jobs that require deep human empathy, such as psychotherapy, life coaching, or creating highly personalized content, and so on. Unique and one of a kind. So if we learn from history, we realize that the goal is not to compete with machines, but to complement them. The jobs that will always remain are those in which machines are weak, like empathy and moral judgment. A machine can't make a complex moral decision or truly understand exactly how a person feels. It can't generate ideas that have never existed before and are outside of algorithms, and ultimately, it can't manage complex relationships, like leadership, negotiation, and team building. And our message here is don't be afraid. Artificial intelligence is a powerful tool. If an engineer in the 19th century didn't know how to work with a steam engine, they'd be out of a job. Today, if a writer or programmer doesn't know how to use AI tools, they'll fall behind. That's why, instead of being afraid, we need to focus on continuous learning. We need to learn how to harness AI so it can handle routine tasks for us. And we should spend our time on creative and human-centered work. And keep in mind that the future belongs to those who know how to use these tools to become stronger and more effective versions of themselves. And remember, in this wave of job changes, we are the drivers, not the passengers. Thank you for staying with me until this point in the video, and if you enjoyed it, follow me and leave your comments for me, because I read all of them and reply to every single one. So until the next episode, goodbye.